We get it. After all the frustration, the endless cycles of hoping for a system that actually works, you're ready for something steady. Something that delivers without constant workarounds or headaches. That's why we're excited to introduce the 2025 redesign of the Buzz CRM. Built with you in mind, it's more intuitive, faster, and smarter than ever. Finally, a CRM that sees your worth, streamlines your workflows, and gives you the tools to thrive without needing to prove yourself over and over again. Because you deserve a lifeline after all those outdated platforms. You deserve a system that keeps up with your goals and grows with your success. This isn't just a redesign, it's a revolution. Visit thebuzzcrm.com today. That's thebuzzcrm.com.
Welcome back, my friends, to the show that never ends. I am Vivian McPeak, and this is the Hemp Present Resistance. If you have feedback or like to suggest a guest or topic for Hemp Present, email me at hemppresent@gmail.com. Hit me up, people. Jeff Crawford has been involved in independent media, activism, and technology for decades. He started with Bohemia AfterDark, one of the first indie music video shows, and later organized the Portland Hemp Festival in the mid-1990s. Jeff's work spans media preservation, AI, and digital activism, focusing on counteracting algorithmic manipulation and censorship. Jeff has worked extensively with content archiving, including rare footage restoration for Getty, and he's deeply invested in exploring how AI can be utilized to reclaim digital spaces from corporate and political influence. Hey, Jeff, what's up, my friend?
Doing really good, Vivian. Thanks.
My pleasure, man. These are the interesting times that the Chinese curse warned about. We live in what has been termed the information age. Many of us are experiencing what I call information poisoning, with not just too much information to process, but also an environment that is largely post-truth in some areas, especially with social media and the rapid growing presence of AI disinformation, bot-generated psyop lie memes. You work in AI automation. You've developed some strategies for fighting against algorithmic suppression, political manipulation, and engagement-driven disinformation. First, what is algorithmic suppression, and how do these things work?
Well, it works like this. All social media platforms that are basically not decentralized, like Blue Sky is a decentralized social media platform that is based on offshore servers. So it's not necessarily in one place. It's scattered throughout the world through CDN. And CDN, if you're in Japan, Tokyo, you go on Blue Sky, then that CDN notices you based on your IP address, then it connects you that way. That way, there's no tracking. But when you use your browsers on your desktop, if you connect through that with Google or anything like that, if you're not protecting yourself, then you're open to those algorithms and the bots. If you notice when you search something on Google, then suddenly it comes up on your social media feed. So that was the beginning of it. And I would say that's been going on for everybody kind of about a good decade. And so they're constantly testing it. So when with Grok, which is part of X, formerly Twitter, when that came out, I was asking it questions because and using ChatGPT as a reflectant of the answers that I was getting from Grok, and then kind of based on the questions I asked were basically basic, like how is the manipulation with algorithm bots and within social media, and they gave me a concise answer how to combat it to a degree. And then I asked ChatGPT to confirm this, and then there's DeepSeek too. So or Claude, you can ask these. Some of them are just open source. You can ask them. So
these are AI generative platforms, right?
Yeah, correct. And then most of them are free. All the like Microsoft has its own co-pilot, but it's basically like ChatGPT connected to it. So everything is connected to AI. Everything we do on any social media platform. Really, I noticed the first thing, and really with community notes, when that escape that what Musk did, and then that they rely, there's actual people, but they're relying on these AI bots and to gather the information, and then not real people though are going through that, and then they could cherry pick who is going to get the likes, the comments, So then if you go into Meta, then you have right now what's happened over after the last 6 months and even prior. You could notice all these floods of specifically right-wing leaning posts, and there's these groups, and these groups are connected to websites, and these websites are, if you just start digging deep, you go through any of these groups, pages, you can see where they originate from, if they have a website, if they just have a Gmail account, that kind of, these are little red flags. And then if you go to the website, if they're just doing gaming, it's like gaming. What's that have to do with politics on social media?
So
Nothing.
It's a dummy. It's a dummy site, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean,
Exactly.
I noticed about 6 months before the election, the last election, on one of my scrolls on one of my profiles on Facebook, about 5 of these right-wing bot meme generation troll profiles of lies, right? It was just fabrications and stuff like, Kid Rock blows away Taylor Swift's attendance record, right? And then they got more like devious. And then by the time it was a month before the election, there was like 100 of them. And so these things were so effective at spreading disinformation. A majority of Americans thought that America was in a recession when it actually wasn't, anymore. We can probably anticipate, because it works so good, there's going to be many more of these in the future.
They're flooded, and they're easy to create, and that's what that's where it leads me into where, well, if they create these, and I know a little bit about code and working on my own website, for over the past few decades, and working with people that do development, and especially on the back end development, where it's basically code, the inner workings of the mechanics of a website or a server. And so ChatGPT and Claude can create these bots. They're based on open source. So anybody can go on ChatGPT and create their own bot. And so then there's other websites where you can create the bots. You have to go on GitHub and a couple other sites. I won't mention names here. But you can go to these sites, and then they can help you create it. Using the references of ChatGPT or Claude or DeepSeek will help you, guide you through these. If you know very little about code, you don't have to know much to create these bots in order to implant them yourself, to remove the algorithms, to remove the shadow banning. And when I was creating these, we were noticing that the algorithms would change every 10 seconds, especially on Meta Facebook. And then I adjusted the bot to, okay, let's do it every 3 seconds. So we combat. So it's this battle now. And it's true cyber warfare inside Facebook and Meta, AI, Instagram, Threads, X, Google probably, I don't know much about it. I haven't dug deep in Google yet, but I know, they, based on their algorithms and their advertisement drive into Meta, they're kind of equal. And then now it's kind of like Meta and X kind of sharing the same algorithms with the sites, the likes, the comments. And so when you see thousands of these comments and likes, you're going, wow, what is going on here? And then you have your group or whatever group you follow, and they're barely getting anything. So that bot will be placed in your group, and then you could help remove these algorithms that are attacking. And then this gets out the message more because we're being blocked. Our message is being completely blocked on all these platforms. The only one that's not being blocked, I would say, is Blue Sky.
Yeah, I made a post, as you know, on Facebook, and I made the same exact post the same time on Blue Sky. In 24 hours, my Facebook post had 7 likes, and my Blue Sky one had over 700 likes. Right? We're getting close to the break here. We've got about 20 seconds. When we come back, let's touch on how the average person can protect themselves against this crazy stuff. I'm talking to Jeff Crawford. And we're going to take a quick break and come immediately back, so don't go anywhere.
Time to roll out for the people that let us hemp present. Hang loose. We're coming right back.
All right, we're back with Jeff Crawford. Jeff, like America's at war. You know, there's a war against democracy, and this social media and AI is such a big part of it. And how, in fact, I'm not convinced that without it, Trump would be in the White House. How can the average person protect and defend against being victimized, manipulated, and really like bamboozled by these devious mechanisms on social media? What steps could a non-techie person take to defend themselves against being prey to this stuff?
Well, the knowledge is power. What we just talked about right already that I explained. But we, like knowing that this is happening, you know it's happening, and don't believe your lying eyes, I guess, in this case. But you could tell by how it looks. And don't engage. If you engage with them in that way, I would use something to say you are a bot or a troll. You're trolling, and this whole group and page is this. Then that's exposure. That throws off the algorithms. I that was one of my main questions asking ChatGPT and other open sources, how do we protect ourselves? And that was the main thing. Like, you notice, and what you could do is post these things. You got to fight them that way too. You fire with fire, unfortunately. But on your end, on any end, like I would use a VPN, a good VPN, and hide your IP, and that way it would help relieve some of these shadow bannings that are happening. There's not much an end user can do, because you're under the terms of service with these platforms. And so you could build your own bot like I can, and you can have yourself guided through that through, like I said, any open source like ChatGPT, DeepSeek can help you guide you through these things. And then especially with ChatGPT, I hate to be a big champion for it, but they do have the option for anybody to create their own bot really easy, and it's simple. And if you take the time, and then even if you guide it through YouTube, I have very little knowledge in it myself. I learned through the process of this. So everything, because I do back end, hire people do back end myself, and just the decades of learning doing sites, I knew a little bit about it, and AI helped.
And I just want to point out that VPN is a virtual private network. And so if someone is a layman, right, somebody was a Luddite and wasn't necessarily tech savvy, they could go into a search engine like ChatGPT, God forbid, and say, what are the steps to protect, myself against these algorithms, and they will get like a list, right?
Yeah, exactly. And that's like, you have to use these tools, unfortunately, because we're already embedded with everything. When we're using our devices right now, it's already embedded. When you go on Messenger, on Meta AI, any or WhatsApp, or even talking privately, the encrypted part of it in Messenger is not encrypted. It's no different than incognito mode on Chrome. It's still tracking you. Meta AI is in our conversations. Grok is in our conversations. You know what I mean? So, and then how Google and
Grok. A lot of people might have no idea what Grok is. What's Grok?
Okay. Well, Grok is X, former Twitter AI. It's on the app itself. You can go in and ask a question or create an image or whatever you want. And pop it on your page if you want. So that it's no different than Meta AI. It's no different than ChatGPT. It's just how it was built and what was the information put into it that reflects the answers you get. And it's look at Musk, evil base. Of course, it's going to have evil tendencies. So that's why I asked that to Grok the question first. Ask the source.
Right.
So I took that source answer, like I said, and had ChatGPT, a little lighter, friendlier AI source, and it doesn't like Grok, obviously. So I played on each other, basically. And as far as the average user, they could just go in and, like I said, they could go on ChatGPT, preferably not Meta AI, not Grok. DeepSeek's good, but it doesn't create bots. It's not built that way. But ChatGPT is, and or Claude, you can use Claude, which is another form of open source that's like ChatGPT, similar. And so you could create that really easy. It's you just put in what you want to on one side of the window, and on the other side of the window, it creates what you want. Then and if you get stuck anywhere, you ask the question, and it helps you all the way through, every step of the way.
Right. Jeff, Musk and his Doge hackers have been accused of inserting malware into government computers. Why would they do that, and what should we be concerned about regarding that?
Oh my God, it's everything, because how quick they were able to siphon the information by putting using external hard drives, at the same time planning malware through Trojan horses. It's in a folder on the back end. When they have IT people in the government, they're just like doing maintenance. IT people are just like the front end of a website, or a front end like spreadsheets, or there's a problem with the email, they fix that. And then if they're anything more than that, they can't do it. That's whole back end, that's restructure. These kids that came in, they know they're shit. They know what they're doing. They go in there, and boom, within 30 seconds, they're able to plan all these. And God knows what they did in Pennsylvania, in these swing states, when they were able to probably, who knows? But I know it was created through Grok. I asked Grok, was it able to create this AI source that Grok has? So it's based on Grok, that source. So everything will be siphoned. Hey, no matter what, they have to purge the drives and maybe destroy them and get new ones. That's the only way to fix that. And I don't know if the government knows this, because the knowledge of this, is like 99.9% of the people don't know, and that's the problem.
Right. We have a little over 2 minutes till the next break. The landscape has evolved in so many ways. It's almost unrecognizable in terms of how things used to be done. In your opinion, how has activism evolved in this digital age?
We're in cyber warfare period, of course, and everybody is, cyber driven. We are, we constant social media. What is our tool that we use for activism? Is social media. We have to use it. We have to use our phones to fight. But we need boots on the ground and everything like that. But how do people know that that's going to happen? Unless we have that information. So that's why we must protect this, that we must have these counter bots that they're using, that they could build dummy sites. We could build our own sites and let's make it legitimate. We don't have to hide anything. Why do we have to hide? Let them hide. Let's expose them. That's what I say. That's part of the battle of winning this war on social media and cyber warfare that we're in.
Right.
My opinion.
Yeah. We got about 1 minute left. Quickly, what are your thoughts on the future of independent media? How can we leverage AI, blockchain, and decentralized platforms to keep independent voices alive? Is there anything you want to add to what we've been talking about?
Well, definitely blockchain's a good idea, decentralized, so like, we creating more social media platforms like Blue Sky, and also DeepSeek's a good source, even though it's China made. But see, that was created on open source. And that's the true thing.
Why is that important?
Why is open source important? Because it's free. You can create your own code. You don't have to have massive knowledge to use it. You have a support group of community people that know source code. They can walk even through it. And they're all for, we're on all the same team with that open source. They don't want any of this going on.
Yeah.
So they're players. We got to get them in.
I'm talking to Jeff Crawford. We're going to take another break and come back for our final segment. Don't go anywhere.
Time to roll out for the people that let us Hemp Present. Hang loose. We're coming right back.
Back on Jeff Crawford. Jeff, your early work included indie music, television, and rare footage preservation, including acts like Nirvana and projects like No on Measure 9. Tell us about Bohemia After Dark and your background in media.
Yeah, I started in '82 shooting bands, and this is in Phoenix, Arizona. And then videotape. I had a camera, and then I took that looking for a place to play the local music, and then found cable access. Started using cable access. It was the beginnings of it, and then we had it played all over the city, and then we got it into regional areas, did show trades with other people like Frank Harlan from Bomb Shelter Video and Northwest Rocks, for instance, and Real George's Backroom Albany. And then I moved up to Portland and got in the music scene because Seattle and Portland in the late 80s, early 90s was really happening. I moved there in 90 and got involved with cable access and volunteered. They had 5 channels. It was great. And worked with a lot of different people and learned a lot of different things. And then I took from the show, went into Seattle right after Frank's show, after Northwest Rocks. We were on KPHE, or not KPD, Fox 49 in Portland, Oregon for 3 years. And it was late night, 1 a.m., kind of like no one would watch it. It's like, overnight. Anyways, and we did good. We won a couple Billboard awards and got some platinum records out of it. And yeah.
Yeah, I did. In the early 90s, I did Freedom Television for several years on cable access up here. And then we switched to THC TV for about 4 or 5 years. Those were the days. I mean, that was the early YouTube, right?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, definitely. It was so many people I worked with, and if it wasn't for cable access, I wouldn't have gotten into broadcast television. And even though I have radio experience, but if it wasn't for that, it was great. And then expanded multiple markets. We were on with Network One for a while, which was a small independent and low power TV stations. After that, in the 2000s, we moved back to Phoenix, and I started my own TV station, low power. I just leased a channel in Phoenix and just got a DVD player and put it in Mesa, Arizona, and usury pass. And I had to drive up there every day to put a new disc in. And it was just no cable even. And this is
go ahead.
Pioneer and digital with KRS. When it went digital, we worked back to Portland for a couple of years, worked with digital. And then YouTube happened. That's where I really started focusing on YouTube. And they approached me and gave me a partnership. This was before Google bought them in 2006 and 2007, when it really blew up, doing hip hop channel. Millions of views. Anyways, it went away because of copyright, and I didn't have permission to play it on the internet. So I did my own thing, BohemiaAfterDark.com. I already had that anyways. I was using that as an anchor with the TV station, actually, for people to communicate before YouTube and everything. So yeah.
Yeah, the cable access was really subversive and irreverent. It was a chance to get alternative information. Like we had the Bong Hit Championships up here that I was on a bunch of times. But,
yeah,
we're,
all that we had on.
Go ahead.
But it was like it seemed like Portland and Seattle kind of like coincide with that. Like we had Jim Spag, he would play with this band and he would do air guitar playing naked. And Sister Paula transgender minister, I helped on her show. Paul Richmond doing abuse of power, following cops around like the show cops, but instead of we followed the police and their wrongdoings. That was fun, and a lot of cool things with cable access. Really, there should be some award for some that did it.
Yeah, man. Yep. We're running out of time, Jeff. We've got about a minute left. Really quickly, what's your final thoughts in 30 seconds you want to leave us with today?
I think everybody should get out and be active, and this is a very important movement that we need to focus on, and boots on the ground. As I'm a military veteran, Army veteran at that, and I think everybody should get out there and protest, and then watch yourself on social media. I explain how to protect yourself basically, and you're with the terms of service with these companies. Just keep that in mind. They hold the strings.
All right, Jeff Crawford, man, thank you for your important work, and thanks for taking time out to talk to me today. I appreciate you.
Thank you, Vivian. Thank you.
The Hemp Present intro music is 7 Mile Beach by Joanne Wren, and the outro music is Take Back the Plant by Stickerbush. See you later, folks. Stay strong. We're riding the wave. Democracy must survive. Bye.
Marijuana, THC, sweet sativa, Dicker Queen, Santeria, Delta 9, smoke the ganja all the time.
We get it. After all the frustration, the endless cycles of hoping for a system that actually works, you're ready for something steady. Something that delivers without constant workarounds or headaches. That's why we're excited to introduce the 2025 redesign of the Buzz CRM. Built with you in mind, it's more intuitive, faster, and smarter than ever. Finally, a CRM that sees your worth, streamlines your workflows, and gives you the tools to thrive without needing to prove yourself over and over again. Because you deserve a lifeline after all those outdated platforms. You deserve a system that keeps up with your goals and grows with your success. This isn't just a redesign, it's a revolution. Visit thebuzzcrm.com today. That's thebuzzcrm.com.